If you've struggled with stress, balance, or burnout, and simply feel discouraged or even defeated, and if you're ready to move from force to flow and enjoy ultimate Zen success in your career, health, or relationships, then the Zen Success Show is for you. Your host, Carissa Sims, is an entrepreneur, corporate consultant, best-selling author, meditation teacher, and healer who has found her own Zen success. Here's your host, Carissa Sims.
Welcome to this week's episode of Zen Success. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Rick Bleiweiss. Rick lives in Ashland, Oregon, and he's originally from New York City area. He is a best-selling author, publishing executive, former music industry executive. This is amazing. Oh my gosh. Senior VP at BMG Music. Wow. Artista Island Records and Grammy-nominated record producer who just released his first novel, Pignon Scorpion. Bleiweiss started his career in music as a rock performer, producer of over 50 records, songwriter, and record company executive in New York City. And he has worked with music industry legends, including Clive Davis, Melissa Etheridge, the Backstreet Boys, Kiss, U2. Wow, all the big ones came to you, didn't they?
Well, I can't say they came to me. I was fortunate enough to be working in companies that were releasing their records, so I got an opportunity to work with all of them.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Whitney Houston, the Bee Gees, and many others. I'm sure you can't name all of them. Wow. You also marketed the movie soundtracks for Star Wars movies, Saturday Night Fever. This is Spinal Tap. I saw that. I love that movie. So since 2006, as a publishing company executive, Bleiweiss has acquired works by best-selling and award-winning authors. Just so many accomplishments. I'll put how to follow him and his website in the show notes for everybody. I just wanted to say I love Ashland. I went to school there, Southern Oregon State College.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it used to be Southern Oregon State College, and now it's Southern Oregon University. They grew up.
Wow, what a big name. Yeah. So I went to that school right out of high school from Alaska.
Oh, really?
So I moved there. Yep. Yeah. So I just love to hear a little bit of your story and journey, and of course, about your book. So what inspired you to write this book that you released, Pignon Scorpion and the Barbershop Detectives?
Well, what really inspired me is when I left New York City, my wife and I retired. We were both in the music industry. And we moved to Ashland just to have a complete and utter change of scenery, because having been in Ashland, you know it is the antithesis of New York City.
Yes, the opposite for sure.
So we moved out here with the intention of retiring, and I got bored pretty quickly. I'm a very type A, active kind of person. So what I did was I started joining nonprofits. I joined the Oregon Shakespeare Festival Board of Directors. I joined the Ashland Independent Film Festival Board of Directors. I helped the Ashland Emergency Food Bank get a permanent building, things like that. And I was on the Southern Oregon University President's Advisory Council, the chair of that. And my next door neighbor was a poet. And she and I met through one of these, and we lived next to each other, but we met through one of the organizations. I don't remember which one. And she said to me, "Did you ever write?" And I said, "Well, yeah, actually, I have written most of my life. I've written magazine and newspaper columns and stories, mostly fiction, not novels or anything like that." I said, "I've always liked writing. In fact, when I was 12 years old, I wrote and published a sports newspaper that
very cool.
sold to my closest neighbors, so I've always had writing in me somewhere. I wrote songs, I was a songwriter. I was in college. I did I studied filmmaking in college. In fact, Martin Scorsese and Bob Balaban were classmates. And
Oh,
I
are they
wrote,
still friends?
no,
Yeah.
I can't say that I was close friends with either of them, but I must tell you that Marty's films were so good, it made me kind of want to not go into film, which is why I stayed.
I know. Amazing.
But I wrote student films. So anyway, so Peggy, the poet in Ashland, asked me if I've written, and I told her about my nonfiction kind of writing. And she said, well, I'm in this group with fiction writers, nonfiction writers, poets. Why don't you come? I think you'd like the people. I think they'd like you. Maybe it'll stir your creative juices.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah. So I said, sure, why not? I mean, I my whole life, I just have always been up for trying new things and making life an adventure. So I joined the group and I started writing short stories. And one of the short stories I wrote was with the character Pignon Scorbion. And it's a long story as to how I came up with his name and all of that, but I started.
I love it. It's so exotic.
Yeah, well, it's really a combination because I postulate that his father was Egyptian and his mother was Haitian, and they met in Haiti, and so his last name Scorbion. I did a lot of research, and Scorbion is an Arabic Egyptian name. It means entrepreneurial and adventurous, which was his father. And so I love that. And then,
so cool.
I studied Haiti and found that there's a valley and a mountain there called Pignon that was named after the French explorer who was the first European to discover the area. So I just thought the combination of Pignon and Scorbion was kind of like cool. It's like Sherlock Holmes. It's not your everyday name,
Right.
Something Hercule Poirot, not your everyday name. So that's how I came up with that. So anyway, I started writing the short story, and the members of the group who on my previous short stories were going, oh, that's nice. Here's some criticism. They just to a person said, you've hit on it. You got to expand this into a novel. This is something. And so I did. And it took me a lot of years of off and on, because I wrote 2 other non-mystery novels while I was writing Scorbion. And that's how the novel initially started.
Yeah. And it's so amazing to have that encouragement from that mastermind writing group, right?
Yes. I would encourage any and every writer, that especially those that are starting out, but any, to join a writing group. The feedback you get is just invaluable. And the fact that you can give feedback and learn things from other people's stories is really helpful as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't know why I never thought about doing that. I'm also a writer. So I've written children's books and one adult nonfiction book. But I'm just getting inspired by you, just thinking, maybe I need to join a group like that. That would be amazing. So yeah. So then you decided to go deeper based on the encouragement of the group, and then you wrote it. That's amazing. And do you have any aspirations to make it a TV show or anything?
Well, I'll give you a multiple answer to that, if you will.
Okay.
I'll answer the TV show first. There is a film TV production company in the UK that has optioned it, and it is in development. They're having the scripts written and they're casting it. And they apparently told me they have interest from the Sky Network in Britain and from TNT here in the States. And so maybe, it's still a long way from being done. But
because production, that could take, because if it's a series, it might take a year or 2 or something. Yeah.
It's a great start. I'm pleased. And
it's a great start. Yeah. So they bought the rights to it.
They've optioned the rights.
The rights. Okay. Got it.
technically, I think optioned the rights is the way I'm supposed to say it.
Yeah, I know you have to be careful of the language of what we're talking about, right? But I just what an accomplishment. Congratulations. I mean, it's your first novel, right?
It absolutely is. And in fact, I finished the second novel in the series, which is called Murder in Haxford, and that comes out in February of next year. And it just got a glowing review yesterday from Publishers Weekly from an advance copy they got. So I'm smiling. But yes, at 77 years old, Pinion Scorpion was the first debut novel that I ever had.
Oh, that's amazing. And it's never too late. I mean, you've had a very successful career, but sometimes people may have not have had a successful career. Maybe they've always wanted to write. So just never give up, keep going, right?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, one of my favorite quotes is a quote that the basketball star Michael Jordan made. And his quote was, I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something. I can't accept not trying.
Ah,
And I love that. And then, if you excuse me, there's another quote from Betty
yeah.
Friedan that I think is very appropriate. And Betty said, aging is not lost youth, but a new stage of opportunity and strength. And I totally believe that. I mean, I've chased rainbows. I've chased the pot of gold at the end of rainbows my whole life. It made life interesting for me and exciting. And I found the chase more exciting than even whether I found the pot of gold or not. And sometimes I didn't, and sometimes I did. And it's like I have still the energy and the interest to chase rainbows. So why should I stop? I was interviewed on a TV show, and I think I made the statement, if I just said I'm too old, nothing can happen to me, nothing would have happened to me.
Yeah.
So like I encourage everybody, no matter what their age, to go for their dreams.
Oh, thank you for saying that. That is so inspiring and encouraging for our audience, I'm sure. So, like, if someone had a dream of writing, where do you feel like they should start? Sorry, I have my dog in the background making noises. Yeah.
I have a dog, but my door's shut, so the dog can't.
Usually mine is, but I know I should have.
No, my dog barks a lot, so it's better that she's
Okay.
not.
Okay. Yeah. Where should they get started? What would be a first step if they wanted to write?
Right.
Just write.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people are paralyzed by the fear of either not being able to write or failing at writing or not being successful at it. And they can conjure up all sorts of reasons not to write. But the reality is, you should find writing to be enjoyable. You're creating, in a way, alternate universes and alternate friends in your mind other than in your real life. So it should be a pleasurable, fun experience. Yes, there are deadlines at times. Yes, there can be stress. But the reality is, if you want to be a writer, you write and don't worry about what people think of it. Start off writing and then afterwards get assessments. But you need to like what you're writing to begin with.
Yeah. And be excited about it, passionate, because you can feel that energy, when you're reading it. And did you have an agent?
Well, I'm going to go back a step to answer.
Okay.
I have been a believer for many years since I studied it in not just meditating, but in manifesting.
I love it. I love it. Let's hear this.
I'm a big believer in the quantum planes and multiverses and things of that nature. So what I did when I started writing the book was I did a lot of manifesting every single night and most days about what would happen with the book. And my version of manifesting, I studied with a man named Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
He's experts in the field.
I've heard of him. Mm-hmm.
So Joe basically says you can't just think it. You have to start living it, So I did. I started telling my friends I was going to have a hit book. I started living it as though it had already happened. And of course, one of the things that I did was I manifested getting a really good agent. And I was fortunate because I worked for a publisher that I had access to agents. So I'm not going to deny that for a minute, but still in all, agents had to like my book. I mean,
that's right. Right.
You have a bad product, who cares? So I was able to, I presented an early version of the book to Nicole Resinitti, who is the owner and president of the Seymour Literary Agency. And Nicole loved the book and took it on. And I've been with her, as they say, ever since. But beyond Nicole, I manifested what would happen to the book. Do you want to hear about that?
Yeah, of course. I want to hear your story. And because I also, did you see a movie? Is the film What the Bleep Do We Know? Did that impact your awareness on manifesting as well?
It absolutely did. Yes, I've seen it multiple times. I saw it when it was originally out, and I've seen it since. Dispenza was in that film. That's actually what brought him to national prominence, where I first heard of him. But, that film impacted me. It really it made me aware of the concept that your mind can affect and influence physical events and physical things, which I really didn't grasp that much before then. And then I don't know if you're familiar with him or not, a man named Bruce Lipton, epigeneticist who does the biology of belief. And he even goes into that further of how your mind can affect things. So yeah, the test in the Bleep movie where they had that, I think Masaru Emoto was the Japanese scientist who did these glasses of water.
Yeah, I love that. I love those experiments.
People, it changed the molecules just based on whether they were happy or sad. And that film just absolutely opened a door in my mind without a doubt.
Yeah, that's amazing. So then what did you learn about manifesting? Had you started doing it in other things and then you realized you could do it with the book as well?
I started manifesting health, quite honestly, to begin with. Started working a bit, and then I laser focused on the book. But what I also kind of realized was that back in the mid 70s, when I was producing disco records, I actually did manifesting then, and I didn't know it was called manifesting.
Oh, yeah. You had the power back then. You thought it was just you being driven or successful.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And a friend who worked for ASCAP, which is a publishing society in the music industry, he played me a rock song and said, "What do you think of this song?" I said, "I think it's great, but I hear in my brain a disco version of this song, not a rock version." And I literally heard the entire arrangement in my head.
Oh.
I found a group, taught them the song, taught them the arrangement, and the record went on to sell 500,000 copies. It was the record that popularized whistles and discotheques. But I envisioned that happening as we were recording the record. So I just sort of feel that, I don't know what it is, an extra sense, or if it's just really manifesting without knowing that I was doing it. But I sort of been there my whole life.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I feel like you were being a little bit psychic. And that was like an opportunity, because that was all going to happen whether you were the kingpin or not. And so I think that's even more powerful than manifesting, because you were hearing the future and you got to be a part of it. So that's amazing.
Truly, I mean, it was, I don't know, I've never considered myself psychic, but in that
Yeah.
regard, it was.
Right. Well, maybe just in that moment. I mean, I feel like everyone has that ability. It's just practice, and maybe the same as manifesting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just practicing and getting in that to that quantum field, into that space that you can, and you do it so many times. I want to go back to what you said before about your health. So, what did you manifest in the realm of health?
Well, I was having heart issues. And so I started manifesting a healthier heart, better blood pressure, things like that.
How long ago was that?
Um, gosh, I 15 years ago.
Oh, wow. Quite a while ago. Okay.
Yeah. Um, so it was that my wife has had health issues and she did manifesting as well. So, I mean, we just sort of, our feeling was if manifesting works, and of course you have to believe it works.
That's true.
So if we believe that it works, then why not apply it to what the most important things in your life are? And to me, your health is among the single most important things in anyone's life. And then your happiness is second. So what drives your happiness? So manifest those things that will make you happy.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I manifested healing for myself too with cancer. February 2020, I was diagnosed, and now I'm in. Yeah, and now I'm in remission, and I do believe it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and I believed it. That just like what you said, I knew that I could do it. I knew that I could have power over this dis-ease, and it was temporary, and it was like a warning sign, a wake-up call for me, and it was such a gift. Let me tell you, I've rediscovered myself. I put myself first instead of my family and kids. And it's been truly incredible journey, and I'm healthier than I ever have been.
Oh, that's fabulous. And
Yeah.
that's, I mean, I am ecstatic to hear that you're in remission, but I'm also happy, really happy that you did it through manifesting. I mean, that's really good. And at the Dispenza, one of the Dispenza retreats we were at, a number of people who came up.
A number of people. That's great.
To getting rid of their cancer that way. And I just think, I mean, what do you have to lose? It's not like you're putting invasive, harmful chemicals in your body. What you're doing is you're filling your mind with positive things to get rid of something that's negative.
Mm-hmm. So walk us through the process that you did with this book for the success of the book. What did you do something every night? Did you meditate? Did you visualize? What was it like?
All of the above. All of the above. Yes, I meditated every night, meditated and manifested every night. I visualized, as I said, I kind of started living it by telling people this was going to happen. And quite honestly, there was something that was somewhat expensive, not outrageous, and I ended up buying it because I said, I'm going to make some money off this book. So why not?
I love it. Oh, can you share what it was?
I'd rather not.
Okay. No, but this is really interesting. I love it because it's just like there's so much trust and belief in yourself and the process that you did that. And that's just amazing. I love that because I have heard another person did that for his wealth. So he didn't have enough money, but he would go to like 5-star, 7-star hotels and like ask to see the penthouse suite and go through the process and go with real estate agents to luxury homes. And about 5 years later, it became true for him, multimillionaire. Mm-hmm.
Great. I mean, that's really fabulous. I just wonderful.
Yeah. And you know what breeds more success is your attitude. I just want to highlight that. Look at how happy you are for others. Like sometimes people will see someone wealthy and they'll be jealous or feel envious. And I feel like it blocks manifestation and healing in your own life. What do you think about that?
I would agree with you. I think that, well, my own personal belief is we're all interconnected in this world, and it's like the power of faith. I'm not an overly religious person, but at the same time, I do believe that there is something to the power of collective prayer. And so in that regard, I think there's something that interconnects us all emotionally, spiritually, energetically. And so what I'm doing here today may affect someone on the other side of the world without me ever knowing that. And I can't prove it, but I feel it. And so in that regard, I think the more happiness we can bring into the world, the better people and the world will be for it.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting about this interview that I'm realizing is that you're selfless. This is really about giving back. You're sharing your story so that others can manifest. This is not about highlighting you and your piñon scorpion. No, you are really about other people, aren't you?
Well, I am a little bit about myself too. I don't want to lie here. I mean, certainly I want my
Well,
books.
you have to be to have some kind of success, right? I'm just talking about this interview in particular. It really feels selfless to me. That's what I'm just pointing out.
Sure. I think in a way, I don't know if I'll use the word a duty or not, but I feel it's a duty to make the world a better place and help people, which will make that end happen faster and better. And, I do lectures now to OLLI groups, the Osher Life Learning Institute at universities, talk about this. And
great.
so I really try to impart to other people recipes for their success and ways to not get depressed and anxiety ridden and just be able to deal with life. I mean, I'm looking off to my right because I wrote a quote that I love, as it kind of is important to me. I don't know if you watch the show Grace and Frankie with Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda. Okay, it's on Netflix. It's a really good show about aging.
Okay.
There's a character
Sounds great. I would love it with Lily Tomlin.
There's a character on the show called Mary Elizabeth, and she's one of their friends. And Mary Elizabeth made a quote that obviously the writers wrote, but it was so great to me that I had to write it down so I wouldn't forget it. And her quote was, "You are always going to be disappointed if all you remember are your failures." And, I just think that is so appropriate. People need to dwell on positives. You don't want to dwell on failures. You want to revel in successes. And the way to have successes is to go out and do something. Because if you don't do anything, you can't succeed.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's okay to fail because then you've tried. And so it's like, why not? Go out there and then learn from your mistakes. I mean, some people don't even call it failure. They just say learning. I'm just learning.
And I know that there are a lot of people, especially in the arts, and I'll talk about any art, from acting to writing to painting, you name
music.
it. Exactly. There will be bad reviews and there will be rejection, no matter how good you are and how many people like what you do. It comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Let it roll off your back and go, that's somebody's opinion. Fine. But that doesn't mean it's right. It's right for them. Doesn't mean it's right for anybody else.
That's really good advice, because sometimes you could let good comments go to your head and your ego, and then just as equally be shot down the next moment. And I heard somebody say, as soon as you get a negative review, you've made it.
Well, I made it then.
Yeah, because it's like there's so many people out there. Obviously, you're not going to be a fit for everybody. I mean, and if you start mass marketing, getting it out to everybody, you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting and a great perspective. So let's go back to how you manifested. So, what do you recommend to people to just get started in manifesting something they want?
For me, it was really invaluable to take the course with Dispenza. And I'm not saying people should only focus on Dispenza as a guide or teacher.
Yeah, but someone like him having a guide.
Mm-hmm. I would say that you can do it on your own, but you need to, whether you read, whether you take a course, whatever, you need to learn how to do it right. Because to me, and what I believe, is it's not just enough to vision it and visualize it. You have to feel it. It has to fill your body as a reality. Or another way that I look at it is, if you do believe in the quantum dimensions, if you will, then a possible outcome to your future is out there in one of those quantum dimensions. And there's different outcomes in different dimensions. So how do you draw the outcome you want from the dimension it's residing in, rather than other ones that give you a better or worse outcome? So to me, that's really what manifesting does. It says to that quantum dimension, come on, you're my future. It's undeniable. And so what I would say to somebody starting is, you kind of have to believe that that's possible first. If you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. Then learn how to manifest. Don't just wing it. Then do it, and do it regularly, and commit yourself to it. And at some point, it's either going to pay off for you, or if it doesn't, then you have to analyze why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what's interesting too is get excited about the little things that you manifest. So for example, I'll just share, I ran out of honey, and I love honey. I eat honey every day. On my oatmeal and all this other stuff. And I also believe in it for my kids when they're sick and they have like a sore throat or something. I give them honey. And I was like, oh, I'm out of honey. I need to go to the store. And then we got a package delivery, and it was honey. It was Badger honey. And I didn't order it. My husband didn't order it. But his boss has this yacht called the Honey Badger, and they have a company called Badger Honey, and they just sent it to him. And I was like, yay, I manifested honey. And it's like what you're saying about like us being all connected. I think they call it entrainment.
Yeah.
And it's like whether I was being psychic or I put a thought in the CEO's head to send honey that I would need it.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely. You're absolutely.
Yeah, I like to really be aware of that and to be grateful for those things, because those things are when the universe can bring you even more, when you recognize that how beautiful and special it is.
No, absolutely. And I must confess that I have been manifesting less recently. And my wife and I both have been discussing that we have to get back to it. Well,
when you've had so much success, I'm sure you could just like take a little manifesting vacation. You could go and like, roller coaster waves, right?
Yeah, probably. Although COVID's had something to do with it too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's just sort of being isolated. My wife has an autoimmune disease that manifesting is not going to get rid of, unfortunately. But we've been ultra careful for the last 3 years, and still are, with COVID. So it's sort of like it's a different, little more insular world for us than it used to be.
I understand. I understand. And that's okay. That's okay. You'll get back to it when you're ready. So, what's your main message to our listeners?
Wow. I guess my main message would be, no matter what age you are, pursue your dreams. Find out what it is that matters to you and that you're excited about, and go for it. Don't worry about failing at it. Just go for it and enjoy the process.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's great. And did you feel like along your life that success gave you clues? Like you kind of had a little pathway to your own success that you've had?
I wish I could say yes, but I don't think so, because I've had successes and failures along the way. Most of the failures I thought were going to be successes, but they weren't. But
yeah.
But no, I think mainly I just had a lot of energy, and I had a lot of ideas, and I wasn't content sitting around not acting on them. And so whatever path they led down was great, and I tried to make the most of it.
That's great. And so, because the name of the show is Zen Success, what is Zen Success to you?
Well, first of all, you should know that my entire house, which my wife and I co-designed and had built, is a Zen house.
Oh, yay! Give us a tour. No, I'm just kidding.
We have a Zen garden in the front with a fountain, and you are
the epitome of Zen success, like literally and figuratively.
Well, part of that has to do with, for a number of years, I was consulting to a company in Japan, and I just absolutely fell in love with the whole aesthetics and culture of Zen and Japan. And so we really, without going too overboard, my wife and I, because she went with me there a number of times, we tried to bring it into our lives, the tranquility and Zen. So what is Zen success to me? Zen success to me would be being successful at being okay with yourself and being calm about yourself without stressing too much about your successes, your failures, and what's going on in your life. I think if you can be successful at just being a happy, calmer person, you've achieved Zen in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, it's been such a pleasure connecting with you and hearing about your book, Pignon, Scorpion, and the Barbershop Detectives. I'll put your website and how to buy your book in the show notes. So thank you for being here today on my show. Much Zen success in your journey, and enjoy your Zen garden.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me on.
You're welcome.
That's it for today's episode of Zen Success. Head on over to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you listen to shows. Zen Success is also available on the radio in select markets through amfm247.com. Subscribe to the show and share with friends. Be sure to head on over to zensuccessshow.com to help you on your Zen success journey, and join us on the next episode. May you find your own Zen success in life.